Sanbonani Dumelang Abusheng. My name is Jessica Nkomo, also known as Auntie Diski in the football streets. I am super excited to be back. It's literally been a minute. And today I come back with a banger. The guest I have in studio today is somebody that needs no introduction because this is somebody that causes so much talkability on the football streets. Somebody that is such a... Wait again, let me just take you out of your misery and tell you who I have today. I am joined by Kholosa, also known as the Fox Biyana. Hello.
Hi, Jess.
How are you?
Doing well. Thanks.
Fox, please tell us why the, because I feel like every time I role play this, maybe I look like a clown. Why the nickname Fox?
I actually picked the name myself. I used to support Leicester City. I loved the team a lot.
Yes.
So they are nicknamed the Foxes.
Yes.
So this one year they won the Premier League.
Yeah.
And I was like, actually, how did they win it? You know, no one saw it coming. Then I thought, okay, that's me. I'm always part of a successful group or whatever. But I'm always part of that, but no one notices me.
I love it. They never see you coming.
Yeah,
and I love it. You know what? You're somebody who's really been so graceful in the footballing spaces. And I will probably speak from a place of being biased, you know, because I personally know you. But I know you've done wonders. And let's maybe get people to know who Kholosa is. I don't want to keep them, you know, outside of the loop. I know who Kholosa is, but just give us a bit of an introduction of who is Kholosa. Where were you born?
Kholosa is from the Eastern Cape. Both parents still alive. I have 3 siblings. I was in the Eastern Cape for a while. Then I moved to university in Durban, did radiography there. Then moved to UKZN, did sports science. Then moved to UWC. Then I did my postgrad biokinetics, and in between that, it's been football, and football.
Love it. In between that, it's been football, and football. And for most don't know, you've been a captain at UKZN, so you have leadership skills. And I heard my qualifications, they're being thrown in the mix. I'll talk about that a little bit later. Between all of that, you also moved overseas. You know, you're somebody who's got international experience, which carries a lot of weight. I just want to talk a little bit about that, because every time I talk to players about that, some people have bad things to say about it. Some people have good things to say about it. I think it's a different personal experience for everyone. How was that for you? Do you feel like it advanced your performance, or probably just your character within the football fraternity or spaces? Or was it just for you a ticking the box situation?
It wasn't just me ticking the box. I always wanted to move overseas after playing my first World Cup in 2019. I wanted to go test myself where I was compared to one of the best players in the world. And I think I had a great experience there. I developed a lot, and I think I see things differently. I train differently. I eat differently. Like everything that I do that has to do with football all my life is done differently. So I learned a lot. Not everything was nice, but I think I enjoyed myself coming back to South Africa, and I think I made a huge difference to people around me, to the teams I've played for since I moved to Spain.
So you definitely would say that there are more positives that you've picked up, and I think the negatives go through everyone. Whether you're an international player or you play domestically, you know, moving from club to club, I think there will definitely be frustrations. But there is a lot of things and, you know, traits like eating healthy that you've picked up. I want that eating traits thing. Do you think, Uguti, and listen, when we look at international players, there's a lot of advantages that they would have, right, in terms of their performance, but that's led to a specific structure, culture that they have, you know, how they train. You know, here in South Africa, I've seen when they tell people there's training, please put your hand up if you're going to be at training. If 5 people put their hands up, training is cancelled, you know. And in most situations, that doesn't happen. There's coaches who will train with 3 players, you know. I think there's no discipline sometimes when it comes to the training. But when you go overseas, the training is different. The eating food, they take those kind of things very serious in making sure that you eat healthy in order for you to perform and, you know, elevate your endurance. Do you think that's something we lack within the African region, you know, to follow all those steps to make us better players?
No, definitely. But the structure is different there. From a young age, when you're introduced to the academy, they introduce you to these things. So coming to Africa and South Africa, we are just unfortunate, you know. I didn't go also to an academy growing up, so I had to eat whatever my parents prepared for me. But I think it does work well for them.
Yeah.
But also we can't run away from the fact that we are Africans and our
Yes.
body is different to them.
100%.
But I think it's important that we like research about these things, and I think they could work for us in the future.
You know, this is a public appeal. Anyone who's listening, I feel like we should have AMA workshops, you know, from different clubs, especially in the development spaces, of people who can help us be able to get that catered to us. Like you're saying, Guti, maybe just the education around food can definitely help us, because mfethu angeke udle ipapa ekuseni mina ntambama and then expected to be one of the fastest players. But then maybe they can tell us about the right nutrients that we need to take. Public appeal, anyone put your hand up, let's just get that out the way. Now I want to talk about your life, you know, from different clubs. What you picked up as growth, you know, coming from UKZN, moving to UWC, which is a powerhouse in the senior women's football league, and moving to Mamelodi Sundowns, which is, we already know, you know. How has your growth been, and how has life been at Mamelodi Sundowns? But I want the first answer first, just to talk about Kholosa's growth through these teams. You know, you've got the university structure, which is very different, you know, and then now you are at Mamelodi Sundowns. You know, how have things been, and how has that worked out for your growth?
I think I'm glad that I had to go through all those steps. I was a student athlete then, so things were done differently. You can't expect me to be at training at 11 a.m. Sundowns, I'm supposed to be at training. And university, it's optional, man. I have school work to do, so the school work comes before you being an athlete. So I had to put my school first always. I think the great thing about being in the university is that if you can't go through Sasol or Hollywood Bets, then you're exposed to the national team. You have more tournaments, so there's more exposure there.
Yeah, Varsity Cup, USAs and all of that.
Yeah, and they have the facilities to make you a great player, you know. Other teams, apart from Mamelodi Sundowns, some of the teams, they don't have that. So I think that's one thing I'm grateful for. They prepare you. You're in a professional environment, even though they have acceptance. But with Sundowns, everything comes with pressure. They don't ask if you are coming to training or not. You have to be at training every day. But the pressure is there. We know it's Mamelodi Sundowns. And for myself, I'm not afraid of pressure. I love pressure. That's what pushes me. That's what makes me wake up in the morning and try and be a better player. And the environment is nice. It's challenging. The players give you a hard time. Every day is high intensity. Every day you have more than 25 players at training to test yourself. So you always have to be at your best, because if you are not in the weekend, someone comes in, they replace you. They forget that you are part of that team. The team moves. So if you don't move with the team, they leave you behind, you know. But that's what I like about Sundowns. You get exposed, you get to play tournaments abroad, you get to play Champions League, and hopefully getting to play the first FIFA Women's World Cup.
Of course, but of course.
Yeah.
I love that. And you do love pressure. You do love pressure, and you handle pressure so well. You know how to banyana playing against whatever team, and we're all over the place. Hey, you can see what is your color. We're just like relaxed, Kholosa's there. The way you just stabilize that midfield, you know, we just know Guti, you are there. Even though under pressure, you are very remarkable. And I also want to talk about the qualifications. Let's just throw them in there before we move to the next topic. And I love this part when athletes are very invested in their education, because we know football is a very short-term career. There has to be something that falls back on. And we'll speak about your introduction to video analysis. But what qualifications does Kholosa have currently?
At the moment, I'm a diagnostic radiographer.
Ooh! Say it again. For people who are slow, say it again.
Yeah, that one I must say again, because people like to make a mistake and say I'm a radiologist. I'm a diagnostic radiographer. I'm a sports scientist. I'm a biokineticist. And yeah, we'll see what happens next.
High levels. Okay, can you tell us the first one? Because I was already thinking, radiologist, X-rays. Tell us, what is the first one? What would your job be?
Yeah, I wake up in the morning, go to a hospital. I take X-rays, mostly maybe chest X-rays, full body X-rays. And sometimes we do CT scans, but then you can progress and do MRI scans. Yeah.
I love that. And I felt something in my chest. I think I will determine after the X-rays. So we'll talk a little bit after that. But that's super amazing because you're a girl with a plan. you know, because you know that there's so many things that you can fall back onto. And I want to talk about your introduction to video analysis. I spoke about this in my past interview. Jorge, I feel like a lot of players, when they think outside of football, like when my duration has ended, they think coaching. Everybody gravitates to coaching. They want to do a foundation and it's a coaching and that's it. But now there's so many opportunities, especially in this century, where people can tap into, you know, your strength and conditioning, your video analysis, social media managers, and all of that. You have now found a space which you're excelling in. And I've seen you with your thing, you know, at games, capturing. How did you get to that and what sparked the interest?
I think, first of all, we used to work with the video analyst, Shelin. She used to take me in like almost every day, try and work on my game, improve, this is what I can do. And then she mentioned that there's a gap. We don't have female analysts. Then when I moved to Spain, when I got there, I just loved how they interpreted games, how they observed our performance, the feedback they gave to us, and the way that analysis improved my game. So I was like, actually, in South Africa, we don't have female analysts. So when I was in Spain in my 2 seasons, I did introduction to football technical analysis in Barcelona Academy. Then I did the advanced course. And coming back to South Africa, I've been pushing that and doing that on the side. When I got back to UWC, I worked with the men's team. Went to the USAs, got the team back to university sport, to varsity football. Then this year, I worked with them again, Varsity Cup. We won it, you know, the men's. So slowly, we're getting there. But I think what you said, we all want to divert to coaching. I've done my D license also in coaching because football analysis is also part of coaching. But there's branches that you can go into. You don't. There's, like, for example, you can be a referee, football analyst, like you mentioned, apart from just being a coach, because everyone wants to go into coaching. And there's a lot we can do to improve women's football, and it's up to us to do that.
I like that you mentioned that. I'm going to ask a question that I wasn't going to ask you. Do you believe that we have the right toolkits for people not to only gravitate towards football? You stand out as somebody who has been equipped and has gone to Spain and seen an opportunity, but you've also gone the extension of trying to learn and teach yourself. And you've basically brought the tools and the resources to yourself in order for you to get to where it is. Do you think maybe there's a gap? You said there was a gap. Is there a gap for us to go into the development spaces and expose these different designations that are available for possible Ntabiseng Wakona lady to be like, you know, outside of coaching, I can actually go and speak about football? Because maybe there's somebody who can't even speak about football, right? Video analysis, you go and you capture the data and the footage and everything. You get to sit and then you bring the footage that's going to advance the team to know who's playing like this, you know, the formation or the style of play and the players. But there's other, you know, avenues. But do you think our current players have access to that? Or do you think we should make it, you know, our job, whoever the association, to say, hey guys, these are the workshops, these are the opportunities. Do you think everybody's afforded that?
No, I don't think so, because also I had to go to Spain to be exposed to this. The only time I saw a video analyst was when I was at the national team. But by the time you get to that level, it's your first time seeing it. So imagine if you are exposed to these things at a younger age, then it will improve women's football. But yes, it's the responsibility of our association to help us. But there's a lot of people that have started, like the seminar we went to.
Love that with Mr. S,
I think he's doing a great thing, he's exposing, and he's like, we need the knowledge. You know? Nowadays, it's like females have to coach, females must run female teams, but you can't do anything because you are just a female. No, it's not supposed to work like that. You must go behind, equip yourself, so that you help the generation that's
definitely equipping ourselves. And I love that when you're speaking about Mr. S and what he did for Bafana's like, okay, Kholosa, I see you. You're going to be that for us. I'm super excited. And equipping us is basically the same conversation with VAR, you know. I saw the minister was speaking about how we need to bring it here and make sure that everything hambang online. But then do we have match officials that know how to operate? You know, don't we equip them first, you know, before we bring that, you know? So I think it goes back to equipping ourselves, giving access to information, the knowledge, before we can tap into another space. Now, I want to talk about the next topic. Silvukotin, looking amazing. The sponsor is very happy, you know, a branded Adidas athlete, right?
Yeah.
And it's a difficult one. Not everybody gets to be sponsored. And I don't think it only relates to performance base.
Yeah.
You can be very good and you can be a talkability when it comes to being on the scoreboard every single game, but it doesn't equate to you getting sponsorship.
Yeah.
There's other characteristics that they look at: character, discipline, and are you a brandable athlete? You know, how has your journey been, and how do you think being a branded athlete has, you know, advanced your exposure and your brand visibility to the market?
I think more than anything, first of all, like you said, it's difficult. And we tend to give up. But that's not just our fault, you know. The people who are pushing women's football also, I think they need to do more. Because these people don't know about us. You walk into an Adidas like store or wherever, they don't know who you are.
Yeah.
So I think that's the first part of it. We have to push women's football. We have to treat ourselves as brands so that we can attract these brands to work with us. I think for me, that's the first step. And in doing that, I think we'll attract more because we do need brands to work with us, not just individually, but also for our teams. You know, we need the support.
And big shout out, you know, you are, like every time I talk about you and when you're becoming a branded athlete, I'm just like, the content that you deliver for Adidas is essentially something that attracts somebody to come to a player and say, I need you to be wearing my clothes. I was talking to Bob this one time and I was like, we want to see a female next to Innocent Mayela on the N1 on a billboard. You know, we tired of just seeing Botabis on everybody else. And you basically tapped into a space. When I saw you on that big wallpaper there, I was just like, we finally did it, you know. And then we transitioned to the spaces when you walk into any Adidas, they know you and they can recognize you. And you're one of the very few that get to wear your Adidas boots and your merch at Mamelodi Sundowns because we know they are branded with Puma. So it speaks volumes to say, you know, somebody has identified you, and the kind of content that you also put out there for them, I think it's also falls part of the reason why they said, we want her. But that also leads to the support that they would give you for your foundation.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your foundation, because I think these two go together, you know. You then get to a space where you're like, Eva Fetu Nagenale Foundation, it's doing A, B, and C, ke kopela di boots, ke kopela support, product association, whatever it may be. And you also had F&B there, shine, that's where the money is at. But tell us about the foundation and how, you know, being a branded sponsor kind of elevates you or puts you at a bit of a better place when it comes to leveraging.
I think first of all, it all started in like 2023. The Adidas pushing me, you know. They made videos like for I think 8 women, and they released mine before the World Cup. And then from there, I was like, well, we are going somewhere here. Then they spoke to me. They were like, okay, you have a foundation, which I launched last year. What can we do for you? I was like, okay, well, I was planning it out throughout the year. I spoke to them, and then they gave me boots and techies to give out to young kids. So I just gave out 50 pairs to females and male team. 50? Yeah, 50 pairs of shoes. And I think plus minus 15 soccer boots to the kids who were at the F&B tournament. So they've been great with me and they support me. Anything that I need, I call on them and they make sure they are there for me.
Why the foundation? Why did we start a foundation? And I know it's a different objective for everybody, but I want to find out from you. Foundations are very important. You know, it's a platform that gives opportunity to the little ones. But from you, what is your philosophy or the core of the foundation?
My foundation is focused on children living with disabilities and their families. And the reason why I started this, I was with Biyana way back in Kosafa in PE. We visited a school for children living with disabilities. They brought joy in my face, you know. I was so happy to see them, interacted with them. I was like, actually, I need to do more for the kids. And then not leaving out the young kids from my community, because that's where it all started. And then that's why I've started giving back to them. Yeah. So most is just to improve the activities of their daily living and help them be better people in life, and hopefully they'll get where I am now or be better people. Yeah.
Oh, we love that. I'm getting so teary because I feel like we're always talking about inclusion, you know? As women, we feel like we've been fighting this fight to be included, you know, we're fighting the gender imbalances, and then now we still have to extend our hand and, you know, looking at the people that are in the disability, you know, community, it always feels like they're the stepchild, you know, and you've identified them and you are giving hope, you know, that little girl, that little boy who says somebody's recognizing me and they're empowering me, you know, to do better. That's super phenomenal. Super happy for you. I think we need more time to talk about, we didn't even touch anything about Banyana or anything like that. But you know, when you bring a star, there's too much that you need to get. Yeah. But I just want to say thank you so much. We're super proud of you. We see the things that you are doing on and off the football, and you keep inspiring others. You know, I hope somebody who's watching they can see, also got a degree kana, video analysis, biokinetics, and they are inspired and they can reach out to you. And I mean, we gain more fans because here at Fut-Afrique we'll definitely bring it. But thank you so much for joining us. You're going to come back again?
Thank you so much. Definitely. We still have to finish the story. And thank you so much for supporting women's sport.
Thank you very much. That was Kholosa, aka Fox Biyana, joining us today. Fruitful conversation. I hope you're inspired just as much as I'm inspired. Please don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms. Click like, subscribe. Catch us every single Saturday on SABC1 at 1:30. From myself, Jessica Bukamuso Nkomo, soon to change, by the by, I'm signing out.